So we could talk about in-stream uses, and this is where of water. This is where we keep the water in the stream, in the river, right? And so this would be important in terms of, say, for example, fisheries. So keeping water running down our rivers year around is important in fisheries. And so that has a value of keeping that water in that river. We can also talk about its use as creating wetlands. So the creation of wetlands. And this is important because wetlands actually are useful in that they help to remove toxins from the water. So wetlands can be a source of like cleaning the water. So they can actually be a good a source of cleaning. There's been work, say, for example, in cities where water might run off from streets and pavement. But if you can kind of get that water into a wetlands, then before it goes back into the river, that this is actually a source of actually cleaning the water. So these wetlands are a good protection. They're protection at the coastal areas because they protect against storm surges. So this would be, say, for example, an environmental service that we might be able to put a monetary value on. So this would be removing pollution. We could also say that it protects against storms. So keeping that water in the wetlands and having wetlands like in Louisiana helps to protect when we have hurricanes that come on shore, that helps to protect against massive erosion and massive flooding, right? So even when we think about rivers, it might be important to get and allow the river to actually meander and create these natural wetlands, because that is going to protect against flooding. And it is also going to create habitat for all kinds of other creatures. So the creation of important habitat. So this increases our biodiversity, specifically those amphibians that need wetlands in order to breed. We can also talk about moving of transporting things on barges. So we could say that it is useful in transportation. We have also created canals, right, that allow for these, these huge container ships to move through. But if you think about in the past, even it would have been important, rivers would have been an important source mechanism for transporting goods, like the Mississippi River, for example. You would have ports and we would be able to move things back and forth using water, even barges moving up the Columbia River, for example. So that is an in-stream use. The last in-stream use has to do with recreation that I'm going to talk about. So obviously, keeping rivers and lakes around is a useful draw for tourism, right? And it allows us to go to these places and enjoy them. So that would be an in-stream use for these waters to protect them.